die Shiuri meyuchodim, was Baal al-Giyula mit Yasser gewähren und mit Parsim gewähren. Und das sind die Shiuri, was zu Nomen gegeben, Chitas.
Welcome to Chitas Short and Simple for Sunday Test Zayin.
Rishon Parshas Behar Bechukosai. Hashem instructs Moshe about Shemitah. When you come into Eretz Yisrael, you may sow your field for 6 years, and for 6 years you may prune your vineyard and gather in its produce, but in the 7th year, the land should have a complete rest. You shouldn't sow your field, you shouldn't prune your vineyard, you shouldn't reap for yourself the aftergrowth of your previous year's harvest, which has sprouted on its own, and you should not pick the grapes which you had set aside for yourself. Why? Because it should be a rest for the land. The produce which goes on it during this year of Shemitah should be ownerless, and thus available for you to eat equally with everybody else. You, your male and female slaves, your non-Jewish hired worker and lodger who lives with you. All of its produce may be retained in your house to be eaten by your domestic animals, so long as there is sufficient produce remaining in your land for the wild animals. Then we learn about Yovel. You should count for yourself 7 Shemitah years, 7 years 7 times. The days of these 7 Shemitah years will amount to 49 years. The following year, the 50th year, should be a Yovel with shofar blast. In the 7th month, Tishrei, on the 10th of the month, Yom Kippur. On the day of the Atonement, that Yom Kippur, you should sound the shofar throughout your land. The court should sanctify the entire period of the 50th year and proclaim freedom throughout the entire land for all Hebrew slaves who live in it. It will be called Yovel. Each person's hereditary land allotted to his ancestors when they first entered Eretz Yisrael should return to his possession if it has been sold. An Eved Ivri who chose to remain with his master should return to his family. This 50th year will be a Yovel, but it may not be extended further into the next year. Just like during a Shemitah year, you shouldn't sow, you shouldn't reap for yourself its aftergrowth, or pick its grapes which you had set aside for yourselves, so too in Yovel. Because it is a Yovel year, if you sell produce from this year, your money will become restricted as if it had been dedicated to the Beis Mikdash. Just like during Shemitah, you may eat its produce and retain it in your house, so long as it is still freely available for the wild animals from the field. Now, if a person sells a field from his hereditary land, meaning the land that he inherited from his ancestors, and his son then buys it from the purchaser, the property should be returned in the Yovel year to the father, who is the rightful owner. If you either sell something or buy something from your fellow Jew, you shouldn't cheat one another. When you buy a field from your fellow Jew, he should sell it to you at the price based on the number of years since the last Yovel, bearing in mind the number of years of crops that you will be able to reap from the land until you have to return it to him at the next Yovel. If more years remain, you should increase its purchase price. And if fewer years remain, you should decrease its purchase price. Why? Because he's selling it to you for a price based on the number of crops that it can produce. A person should not verbally harass his fellow Jew or give him bad advice. And since nobody can know your true intentions, and you can always escape blame, you must fear Hashem. You should observe Hashem's chukim, but in the matter of keeping Shemitah and Yovel, the Yidden will live on in Eretz Yisrael securely. And if you keep all the mitzvahs, then your own portion of land in Eretz Yisrael will yield its fruit, and you will eat to satisfaction and live upon it securely without fear of drought.
Shir in Tehillim is Kapitach Ayin Test through Pei Beis.
In today's Tanya, we're in the middle of Parak Memchas. The Alter Rebbe uses the mashal of human thought to explain the concept of Seviv Kamid, which basically means that it encircles creation from above because it's too powerful to be included in creation. And the mashal we use is that when you use your mind to imagine something that you've seen, your mind completely encompasses the object. Now, of course, we're not talking about the physical object, but your mind does encompass the image of that object that you imagine in your mind. Hashem's mind, however, encompasses the actual real existence of every creation and all its details.
After cutting his nails, my father would put a small piece of wood with them before burning them. Rabbi Elia Abeler was a simple man, not very learned, but the Rebbe told him he was special because when he traveled for business, he would talk to people about Torah and Chassidus and inspire them. This made Hashem very happy, and he rewarded this kind of work with blessings like children, health, and livelihood.
Thank you for listening to today's Chitas Short and Simple.